Every fall when I see pumpkins, I just think of what an amazing creator we have, that he thought in his creation we should have pumpkins. I just love pumpkins, and I love growing them, and I love baking with them. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how I processed these Cherokee Tan Pumpkins that I grew in my garden this year. I ended up with 15 pumpkins from just 3 vines, and I really plan on growing these next year. So the first step is to take your pumpkin, and you really need to clean it good. So I've got some warm water and some white vinegar, and I'm scrubbing the pumpkin very well, removing any dirt and bacteria that may be on the outside, because you're going to be cutting into these pumpkins and you don't want to transfer any germs. So I've got them all nice and cleaned, and I'm going to start cutting these and placing them on an aluminum foil tray. So here's my tray with a couple of pumpkins I've already cut, and you just need a really sharp knife, and you're going to cut close to the stem, and it is a little hard to get through that shell, but you just really force it down and get that pumpkin cut open. Now these Cherokee Tan have the most fragrant aroma to them. I could not believe when I opened and could smell these pumpkins. Regular pumpkins don't smell like this. These tan pumpkins are so delicious and perfect for baking. So I'm just with my hands scraping out the seeds and the strings that are inside. You don't want that when you're baking. So I'm just putting all those seeds in a bowl, and I did pull out some of the seeds to dry and replant next year in my garden. And I think next year I'm going to build a long trellis and grow them up instead of out on the ground, because I'm telling you, these took over the backyard. And hubby just asked not to do that again, so I will be growing these up instead of all over the yard. But they did very well. Like I said, I got 15 little pumpkins just from 3 vines. So I'm using this canning lid. That was a tip from Purposeful Pantry, to scrape out that pulp that's inside, and you want a nice clean pumpkin. That worked awesome. Now the pulp and the seeds I gave to my chickens, and boy, they enjoyed that treat. They ate that up. So you can see how well this little canning lid works in scraping all that out. So these pumpkins were placed on the full lined pan and put in a preheated 350 degree oven for 1 hour. It's anywhere from 45 minutes to 1 hour. It did take an hour from my oven to cook these little pumpkins. But the smell in my kitchen was so good. I love these little pumpkins, and I will be growing these from now on. So into the oven they go, and after 1 hour, I pulled them out, and this is what they look like. When you can put a fork through it very easily, then they're done. So test your pumpkins at 45 minutes to see if they're done. If they're not, you can put them back in there for another 10-15 minutes. Now you just take your fork, and these are hot, but I just can peel back that skin. See how easily that comes off? And you just peel back the skin, kind of start letting them cool. And then I put the pumpkin into a big mixing bowl. Now some of it didn't easily come off, so you just take a spoon and you just kind of scoop it out. And like I said, this was very hot. And then just put it in your mixing bowl. Now I'm going to mix this with my mixer to get out any thick lumps that may be in there, because I'd like a puree to bake with. So I got a lot of meat off these little pumpkins, and I threw the skins out, but I do understand you can dehydrate the skins and make a nice pumpkin powder, but I chose not to do that this time. I just tossed them. But See how easy that flesh just comes right off the pumpkin. So all of this went into my mixer, and I blended and just kept watching it until it was nice and pureed. Their pumpkins are full of antioxidants, loaded with vitamin A and vitamin C. They're very healthy for you to eat, and it's not just for fall. You can eat these any time of the year. And I'm pulling out, I found a piece of skin still in there, so I pulled that out. And you don't want any skin in it, you want just puree. So I got all that out and just kept blending it until it was completely pureed. Now, if there's a lot of liquid in your pumpkin, you can take this to the stove and cook it for a little while and cook down some of that liquid. I did not need to do that because there wasn't a whole lot of liquid in this pumpkin. But look at that beautiful orange color. It's just so much better than canned pumpkin. And it smells so good. So I'm real excited with my little Cherokee Tan Pumpkins. And I was able to get enough to dehydrate and then have some left over to make some pumpkin bread. And look at that beautiful color. Your canned pumpkin is mostly brown, but look how beautiful and orange that is. So like I said, I took 4 cups of the puree and I spread it out onto my dehydrator trays, and I dehydrated it, and I was able to get this like leather, and I broke it into pieces and put it in a pint jar. And I can use this just like I did the fresh puree. You just add some boiling water and give it a good stir and let it sit for a few minutes, and it reconstitutes. So that's how I used 4 cups of it, and then I had 2.5 cups left, and I made some delicious pumpkin bread. So here's just a few ideas that you can do with pumpkins. If you have some that you've purchased, don't throw them out. Hopefully these tips will help you learn how to cook and use your pumpkin. So today I pulled up my Pinterest board, everything pumpkin, and printed out this cranberry walnut pumpkin bread. And it is so good. I'm telling you, my kitchen smelled great, and I went ahead and baked that up. And I'll leave a link below to my Everything Pumpkin Pinterest board. There are so many good recipes that I've found over the years, and I put on that board. Not just desserts, but meals, pumpkin chili, pumpkin smoothies. It's just a great collection of things that I found to use with pumpkin. So I hope you like this. Please give me a like and subscribe, and I hope you have a very blessed fall season. And if you have any questions regarding pumpkin, please leave those in the comments below. And have a very blessed day.